All right, ready to roll.
Ready to roll. Yeah.
All
Nice.
right.
Hi. How are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful. How about you?
Good. 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 I love your studio. I think I mentioned it in one of the videos.
Oh, thanks so much.
Did you build it yourself, or did you?
Yeah, over the past couple years, actually, I got it painted about 6 months ago.
Uh huh.
It was just if actually if you look through like my old content, you'll see kind of how it was before. So it was like white and beige and just very old looking. And finally, saved up some money, and my wife's friend, who's a painter, came out and helped me paint it. And then I put the little things around, some plants, and I have like video game stuff because I'm kind of a nerd a little bit. And yeah, so this is a space that you see all my content. So I like how it came out.
Nice. This is Peyton, by the way, and
Hi.
he's the
Hi, nice to
co-host
meet
with
you.
me
Nice to
in
meet you.
in the podcast. So we do the podcast together since the second episode. I had her. She was my first guest in the podcast. So
Okay,
after that,
nice.
we found that we got a great vibe, and we decided to do it together. So that's
No,
good.
that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I see that you have all the things around in your studio like a real lo-fi producer.
Yes, I have all I have all the fake plants, and I have motivational speeches, and yeah, little trinkets of my childhood and my life. So yes, very very lo-fi. I like
Lo-fi.
to make fun of myself with videos about that.
I've seen those. I've seen those.
Yeah.
Like the that is not lo-fi when you're writing down something, and then like the other one about talking to a lo-fi producer that only wants to promote their own music, right?
Yep. Yeah, I just I've been making those just because I know people, fans and producers can relate to that stuff,
Hmm.
and it's just I enjoy it that much that I'm able to just poke fun of it. Sometimes some people will combat that and try to be serious about it, and I'm like, it's not that serious. I'm making fun of it because I love it.
Do you see that a lot on, well, rather more on Instagram or TikTok?
More on TikTok.
Yeah.
It for me, the skits do way better on TikTok because I think TikTok's just built for that. That quick, funny and shock thing. People react to that, I think, more than even when you're being a little more serious. So yeah, I'll get more combative comments, which is fine. I don't have an issue with that, but I quickly just tell them it's not that serious, and I'm not going to fight and argue with you. I'm doing it out of love, and I think people who are fans can get that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you get more combat from fans or from producers? Do you think?
I think probably producers.
Hmm.
When I started this year doing a lot more educational things,
Yep.
as far as just showing how I produced some things, and also playing guitar. I've been doing a lot of guitar tabs and stuff like that, and there's always one or two comments as far as, well, this is another way, or this is the same as doing this, and I'm like, that's cool, but I'm showing you how I do it. There's a
Yeah.
million ways to do a lot of things, but I'm just showing you how I do it. And not to say that you're wrong, but it's, to me, I don't feel like stepping on people's points. When I see content, if it's motivational or educational, to me, if I'm going to leave a comment, it's just to add to that, to enhance what they're trying to say, and not step over it by saying a point that's redundant, something that is already, they already stated, but for some reason you feel like you have to let them know. It's weird, and that I find that annoying. But
Yeah, I mean, on TikTok, I find that we do what we show what we do,
yeah,
not necessarily what other people do or how many other million ways the same thing is achieved. It can be achieved, no, but
yeah,
the way we do it, because that's what we know. What else are we gonna talk about? You know.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, and but man, like you're sitting at 8,700 followers, and I see your like people like super like commenting in your stuff and liking your stuff. So like that's a good sign as well, no, for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's been really just a grind and just deciding to just put out whatever I feel. I'm just someone that I just have to continually kind of evolve and change. I get sick of doing the same thing all the time. So,
Yep.
there'll be a while where it'll just be beat videos, and then it'll be a while where it's motivational, then it'll be educational, and then I'll do skits, and then I'll pick which loop do you think is better and things like that. I'm
Yep.
constantly just switching things up because that's just who I am. So I think people are enjoying that, just getting a variety.
Yeah, because you can attack from different angles. No, I mean, if
Yeah.
people like, I mean, let's say that we all like music, but maybe like someone else likes comedy more than and or as well as music, and
Yep.
then from that angle, you're able to catch their attention, and then they become a follower, or they comment, or they share like your videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, I
what?
think it's a
Yeah.
good thing just to do that. For anyone, that would just be my advice. Don't be afraid to show yourself, and it doesn't always have to be about one thing.
Hmm.
I would say primarily your content should be about whatever you're trying to push, whether it's music or marketing or business, whatever. But you can also take time to show content outside of that.
Yeah, I
Nice,
saw
nice, nice.
sorry.
No, please,
um,
please.
I saw recently that you had I saw it on Instagram, but you had a
Mhm.
reel that something along the lines of that you're going to create things that we like, and then you're also going to create things that we don't like.
Yes.
Um, and I feel like there's a lot of musicians out there and artists, producers alike that when they're first starting out, they want to just make things that people like,
Hmm.
and then they get really upset when something doesn't turn out the way that they thought. So I really like that you said that. Do you have any um, advice, I guess, with dealing with not pleasing everybody?
Yeah, I think for me it was just a it took time for me to understand that and learn that. I think everyone goes through when you're starting out making music. Of course, you're passionate and you love and feel confident about the things that you're doing, and you feel like, okay, maybe I made this piece of music. And this is the one. This is the one that's going to take me out of here. I'm going to be, the biggest star ever. And then when you find out that people are actually like, no, I don't like this, it
Mm-hmm.
knocks you down a bit. And that's a learned behavior and stuff I experienced. So I think really just for everyone, I think it's just things you have to experience. It's easy to say, hey, don't feel bad or don't get discouraged when people don't like your art as much as you do. I just think everyone kind of has to experience it sometime and just they'll handle it the way that they can. But it's to me just saying that was just letting everyone know that, hey, this is a reality of any entertainment period. It's just the truth, from a movie director to a TV writer to even a musician. You're going to make stuff that people like, and you're going to make stuff that people don't like. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and be comfortable with letting them decide, what they like, no? Because sometimes you can have a strong opinion, like you said, like this is the song that is gonna take me, everywhere, and like,
Yep.
you know, and but it's at the end, it's not our decision to make, and the kind of we have, I think, we have to be comfortable with letting that go, that
Yeah.
like you're like saying, okay, I'm gonna let this
Definitely.
go, and say, well, they're now to judge whatever they want to judge on my music, and make my music whatever they want to make my music you
Yep.
know
Exactly.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I think I'm sure that you guys can relate to that. I'm sure you've had songs that are not your favorite, but they're like your number one song, or people love them, but you don't like it as much. And then, of course, the songs you do love, people don't care for.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Like my
yeah.
my number one song on Spotify is called "Testing in the Sun," and while I like the beat, it's cool. it's not really my favorite thing that I've done, but by hands and far, it's like the most streamed thing, and my other songs aren't even close to that one. So it's just like that. Just that's how the cookie crumbles, you know.
Sure.
Well, I have to say that my favorite from you is "So Cold Fight." Like it's immediately, I immediately recognize that song. Like whenever I see on your videos, and then
Yeah.
I think I saw it somewhere. I was playing some music on my Spotify, random music, like just shuffling in my like songs, and it came on.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Whoa, this song is good!" And I was like, "Oh yes, is that is that one?" So
Nice.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Testing in the sun. You said it was the one.
Yes. Yeah. If you see, yeah, on my Spotify, it's my number one song, and
Nice.
like I said, I'm proud of that one, and I enjoyed making it, but it was one that I really didn't think much about, and I just released it, on a whim, and then that one just kind of took off and just became my number one song. So I kind of pushed it and promoted it
Yeah.
for a couple months, and yeah, it jumped up to like I think over 100,000 streams. And then I was like, all right, I'm done with this song and just let it go. But it still gets decent streams, so I
Nice.
can't complain.
You
Yeah.
can't complain. Nice. So, with social media, when did you start with social media, or because I know that you had Instagram before TikTok, I assume.
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Okay. So you started with Instagram how long ago?
Uh, for this project, I'd say about 2.5 years ago, I started this. It was pretty much so like the end of 2019, and then when the pandemic hit, that's kind of when I just took that time to just work and start creating, lo-fi instrumental music, just because I was did other projects where I was singing, and or I had a project with my friend where I did some rapping and stuff, and now I've incorporated that into my music as well. And yeah, just took this time to said, hey, I'm gonna learn to get into a little more production and working with different instruments. Like I have a little keyboard here, and I picked up a bass. I've always played guitar, but I never really played bass that much, so just picked that up, and yeah, just tried to broaden my horizon a little bit.
Nice, nice, nice. So I was gonna actually ask you, like, what's your musical backstory? So you're a guitar player
Yeah.
first and foremost.
Yep. First and foremost, I actually originally I was playing violin when I was about 9 years old. My parents actually, which is it's to this day. I mean, I had to ask my mom this because it's interesting. My family's not musical at all. I think myself and a cousin of mine are the only two in my family that are musical at all. For some reason, my parents made me play the violin when I was growing up. I wanted to play either sax or drums, and yeah, they forced me to play it. I wasn't really happy, but I did it anyway. And as I got older, I kind of appreciated it a lot more. And then when I graduated high school, the transition from violin to guitar was easy, since it was both stringed instruments. Obviously, how you play it's a little different, but just the concept of figuring out how to play things, it didn't take me long to start picking up stuff. So
Yes. Okay, so violin. Have you
yeah.
have you ever thought, or have you done it, like integrated violin into your beats?
No, I haven't. I have not played violin since high school.
Okay.
I so much so I abandoned violin so much so that I left my violin at my high school, and they turned it into their own instrument. They even marked it like it was theirs. But I went back a couple years later and just snuck into the orchestra room and took it back.
Just like that.
Yeah, I was
It-
like, this is not yours, and you guys are branding it like it's yours. I get it. I left it there, but it's mine, so I'll take it back. So
oh,
yeah, I would like to. I don't know. I just like playing guitar so much that I just don't feel like I want to go back, and I think it would be a long road for me to get back to a playing level that I'd be confident in with playing violin.
So what's your favorite guitar or bass, either one, in your lineup there?
My favorite, I'll show you.
Please, yes. I was gonna ask that question. I was like, yes. I saw the guitars in the background.
Yeah, you got to ask that question.
Yeah, this is right here is my it's an Ibanez Art
Ooh.
Star semi hollow body. Got this about I think like 4 years ago. Yeah, I just love the playability of it, and the look of it's very nice. Get a lot of compliments on it a lot from videos, and even when I took it into the guitar shop to get it repaired because I messed up the input a couple months ago. A lot of compliments. The guys liked it a lot, but yeah, this is my favorite. I mean, I have two Stratocasters, which at first a Stratocaster was my favorite guitar.
Sure.
But I started learning, jazz and kind of R&B. I switched over to hollow bodies and semi hollow bodies because I just like the tone and I like the playability. So this is my number one. I'd like to get another one in a different color at some point.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question of how you get your guitar tone. It's very lo-fi for sure. Very distinct though.
Well, I've done some videos on it because people have asked, and been intrigued, and first and foremost, my tone, I'm more of a high end treble. I don't have much bass in my tone just because I primarily use my fingers. I'm a finger style player, so when I play chords or pick stuff, I just like clarity. I've always just been that way. Like I always hated when I saw guitarists that I like play very intricate, but their tone is so distorted that you can't really even hear it, but you see them doing all these things. And I said, I don't want to do that. I want you to, if I'm hammering on notes, if I'm playing 4 notes at the same time, whatever, I want you to hear every single note. So that's how I base it off there. So I have a pedal board that I have an EQ pedal, compression pedal, noise suppressor, and I run that into an audio interface, and then I do a little more tweaking through Ableton to really get that lo-fi sound. I did a video on it. I use the plugin RC20. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. That's huge in the lo-fi world.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the like the last, like the dressing, the sauce on top to my tone to get that sound.
I've watched that video a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw the RC20 video as well.
Yeah. No, it's it's a great plugin, and you can put it on anything. So it's not only for guitars, but it really just adds a nice texture and a nice tone, depending on what you want to do. But there's so many sounds and so many ways to tweak it that I recommend anyone save up. I think normally it's $100. Save up $100. Please get it. For anyone aspiring to do stuff, or I know usually Memorial Day or Black Friday, it's like $50.
Yeah,
but I recommend anyone to get that. Yeah.
Sometimes I think they have it for $20. There's
wow.
I saw it on Twitter the other day that I think the developers who are Xfair, I think they are. Is it Xfair? I can't remember. They do like a flash sale,
okay,
and they just put it like for $20, and it was on Twitter, and I had to check if it was true, but I already got it, so I was like, damn it, I missed both.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, I got mine for $50 last year for Black Friday, but yeah, if you can get that for $20, even better. That's awesome.
Yeah,
so worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I
think it's one of the plugins that you probably use for the rest of your music career, right?
For sure. It's just, I really think it's a game changer, just because it's just, I don't know, it just brings such a nice quality to the music, even outside of just it being for lo-fi, because you can cut out the kind of like the warble, or you can cut out the record crackle and stuff. You can cut that out, and it's still just, each preset just has such a nice tone that you can tweak, and it just brings instruments to life. That's why I like it a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, I found that the distortion section of it has so many types of distortion that
Hmm.
it allows you to create a lot of different, little sounds within the guitar, within any
Oh
instruments that
yeah,
you add, and but just changing the algorithm, like if it's a tube, if it's whatever, like whatever distortion it is, you can really make a lot of creative decisions with that single section of the plugin without even have to use, like you said, the crackle or the magnetic or the digital
yeah.
distortions. Like, it's a great plugin overall, I'd
Oh,
say.
definitely, it is
Yeah.
wonderful.
So was Ableton your first DAW?
No, GarageBand was my first DAW. When I started out, I had an iPad. I actually was making music off of an iPad, and creating beats and singing, and just anything I could come up with, I would just do on that. And then I actually graduated to Logic, and I was using Logic for a while, but Ableton at that time just worked for me because as I was getting into more beat making,
Mm.
their session view was what I just liked, where you can build clips and then trigger them, so I could just make a beat loop or use a drum loop or make a guitar loop and just build around it and just start to build loops and then flesh them out into full beats. So I switched over to that, and I bought the I forget the Ableton. What is this called?
Push?
The Push. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I bought the Ableton Push, and yeah, I've been kind of creating it ever since then. So I know other ones. I think Logic's update now, they have some similar features to Ableton now, but just at that time, Ableton was doing something that fit me better than Logic did, so that's why I switched.
Yeah. I think there was a transition for Logic that they did it recently with the latest update. I don't know if this was like the latest one or the one before it, that
Hmm.
made it very similar to what Ableton was able to offer with Ableton
Okay.
11. So yeah, yeah. But before that, you're right. Logic wasn't as visually didn't have like the capabilities of like easily accessible as Ableton. Like
Yeah.
Ableton looked like much quicker to create a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah, and that's
yeah.
what drew me in. I saw videos of other producers I liked that were using Ableton, and I just liked the fact that they could do that because at first, I wasn't able to do those things in Logic. So I'm like, let me try this out. Tried the trial and was hooked, and I said, you know what, I'm buying it. It is very expensive, so I
Yeah.
always let people know, as much as I recommend Ableton, try it out first, make sure you really like it, and because it costs a lot of money, and you still have to pay when you upgrade, which is a tough pill to swallow.
Mm.
Every time they upgrade it, you still got to, depending on what version you have, it's a
Hmm.
discount, but you still got to pay, which kind of stinks. But I like it, so I deal with it.
And you can try it for 3 months, right? I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 90 days, and make your decision. So I get questions like that, and I'm saying I let them know. I give them a whole bunch of free ones to try out, but I was like, hey, try out Logic, try out Ableton, which is my favorite, and you got 3 months to make your decision.
3 months is enough. I
Oh
would do
yeah, definitely. I mean, if you can't make your decision in 3 months, I don't know what to
Yeah.
tell you. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, yeah, with with me, Logic made sense because I was using Pro Tools, and I
Hmm.
just didn't like the subscription based program.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna
Yeah.
pay more at the end or the
Hmm.
rest of my life for a program that I was, and I didn't like the interface as much. I felt like an old machine, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. It still
if
looks that
Yeah.
way to this day.
yeah. And I've had so many like people saying that the MIDI, like working with MIDI, is not as good as with Logic, or I mean even Ableton, which is I think one best. But yeah, like I don't like the MIDI like system that they have. Not to rest on Pro Tools, but yeah, it's not like the most appealing one.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, DAWs, not all DAWs are for everyone. And yeah, you just have to find the one that fits you. And my kind of long life advice for that is just to stick with that one. Whatever one works, just stick with it. Don't be the one switching back and forth, because they all do different things and different commands, and it's just way too much stuff to remember. So I would say stick with one, master it, and create.
Nice. Oh, talking about create, great segue. How do you what is your thought process when you're creating stuff? Is it, from just spontaneous, or do you sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna create, or yeah, let us know what is your
Yeah, sure.
our-
It's really just a mix. I mean, what you just said is kind of all the above. There's times where things come into my head. I mean, I've made many of beats and music from. I'll be at work and the bass line comes into my head, and then I'll just hum it out and record it on voice notes. And I've had instances where I've woke up because I dreamt a chord progression, and went straight to the computer and laid it out.
nice.
Other times, yeah, I'll say, you know what, I haven't been up here for a while. Let me see what I can do. And a lot of those times, those moments where I'm like, okay, I just want to work on something. That's where I feel like drum loops are essential. I
Mhm.
love I love using them because you find a drum loop that might be different out of something you would create on your own, and then that kind of opens your playing up a little bit. So sometimes I'll do that as well, just to spark some new life into some ideas. So yeah, that's pretty much how I come up with stuff. It's a mix. It just depends.
Guitar first or bass first?
I would say primarily guitar first, chord progressions. I'm the chord guy. I like to tell
Mm.
people that. If anything about me, it's chords, chords, chords. It's just I've for some reason I've always just gravitated towards it. I think that's why I have an affinity for jazz. I
Mhm.
took jazz guitar lessons for about 3 months, just learning a bunch of chords. I had my teacher teach me chords, gave me books on chords, and then I just developed figuring out chords just using my ear. Um, just would play something and then in my mind think, okay, this I know where it needs to go, and then I just mess around until I get there.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I'm always, for the most part, building things off of chord progressions. Every once in a while, it'll be a bass. Usually, bass for me happens if I use a drum loop. If there's some type of like a funky drum loop that I come across, then that kind of brings out the groove in me to be like, all right, let me start this with bass. That's
Mm.
going to drive the song, and then I'll add everything else around. But yeah, guitar primarily.
I saw Peyton smiling because Peyton is a drummer and
Oh,
like
nice.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, no, drums are, as you know, drums are very essential. Drums,
they are.
especially in lo-fi, it's kind of a make or break thing, because I feel like as nice as an arrangement can be, or a chord progression can be, or even the production can be, if those drums aren't hitting, or if those drums don't sound good,
You're out.
fans, yeah, you're out.
You're
It's
out.
yeah, it's game over.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
no, drums are very very important.
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. I mean, even with changing what you can call lo-fi, no, like we,
Hmm.
we can get into that whole discussion, but
Sure.
yeah, yeah, like I think that even if you change, for example, the sound of a snare, if it's not a full snare, like fully full frequencies, so like that a snare, it can be called now boom bap, for
Oh yeah.
example. And if you just keep the high end, do like a super harsh low pass, I mean, no, not low pass, like high pass on
High
on a,
pass.
on
Yeah.
a, on a snare, then it's called lo-fi. It's more
Yeah.
relatable to lo-fi. Yeah, even that
Hmm.
can, like, that's like the importance of drums in this genre.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it really just dictates it dictates the sound. I actually had on Instagram, I did a story where I just took two loops and I asked the followers to let me know which one you liked better. And
Mhm.
one person actually was like, "Can you take the drums from the one loop and put it to the other one?" And so I did that and then sent it to him, and it really kind of made the progression a little bit smoother.
Hmm.
So just that change, because I think the drum loop I used for it was a little more boom bap,
Mhm.
and then this one, the other drum loop was, I'd say it was groovy. I would say more like R&B ish, but it really kind of smoothed out the loop that I had that he asked about. So just to go back to that point, that yeah, I mean, just a simple swap of a drum loop completely changed the feel of the song, and sometimes it's for the better. So
Yeah, I'm thinking now, like that would be a great way to, if you're blocked and you don't know what to do with a beat, just try
mhm.
different drum loops and see what sticks and see like, what you like more, what vibe do you like more, and then go from there.
Definitely, I truly believe in it. I know it's sometimes in this community, it's a battle between, you creating your own drums or using drum loops. I do both. It just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes, yeah, I create the drums off of one shots and things like that.
Mhm.
But sometimes, when you hear a good loop, I'm gonna use it. That's just how I feel, and I have no shame about that. To me, at the end of the day, it's whether or not you as the creator enjoys it, and then if the listener likes it, they're not sitting there. I mean, we know that for sure. I mean, this
Right.
battle is usually a producer thing. The listener of it could care less as long as they like it. They're not going to be sitting there saying, well, I would like it a little more if it was actually you programmed the drums yourself instead of using a loop. They're not thinking
Yeah, yeah,
that.
You would hope not, at least.
You'd hope not. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some, because there's always someone in every sense that might feel that way, but the majority, I don't think, are
Right.
thinking that.
They're listening to it to study.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
What do you think, Peyton, as a drummer? What do you think about loops? And
Oh, man, if it vibes, it vibes.
yeah,
You can't be mad about that. And I have used them. No, again, no shame either.
Hmm.
And for me, if I need to change something around, I will. But or if I really like a loop, but I just need one or two things changed, I'll
Mhm.
remake it and then just put my little spin on it instead. But yeah, if
Yeah, no,
it, like I
yeah,
said, if it vibes, it vibes.
it does. Yeah, and what you just said, that's a thing I do too, and that's a great tip for everyone else out there to do that as well. If you want to kind of put your own spin on it, yeah, use that drum loop as a reference and then build
Mhm.
around it and make it similar to the drum loop, but then just put your own flavor on it. So
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
that's a great thing.
yeah.
I'm glad
yeah,
you said that.
Thank
yeah,
you.
for sure.
Yep.
As a drummer, it's great to have her input again.
Oh
Like
yeah. Yep.
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
like
that's a
we
great tip.
Peyton approves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
That's a good.
I I really approve of your chord progressions.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I binged watched a lot of your videos the last couple days, just
Yeah.
going through all the different chord progressions that you do. Like, I will be picking up my guitar later on and trying to do the same thing and putting my own twist on it as
Oh,
well.
awesome. Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
I just enjoy helping and just showing my process. It took me a while. I was telling someone this year I just kind of gained some confidence within myself to really show people how I create, and not afraid to give advice and not afraid to be motivational. I think my insecurity last year and years ago was just because you see a lot of people of course give out gems, and they give out tips, and they educate, and part of me was just like, well, everyone has done this, everyone has said this, but
Mhm.
then it took me a while to realize that, yeah, but you haven't. You haven't said it, and just because so and so did it and says it doesn't mean that you're going to say it exactly the same way. You might say it in another way that's relatable to someone down the road, and you just never know. The audience that you have, it doesn't hurt to give them value and help them out, just because they might not know that person.
Yep, I recently had that fight within myself.
Yeah,
I did. I was like, man, what's the point of me saying any of this
Mm-hmm.
when all of these people have already said it? I'm like, well, first of all, my For You page is completely different from yours and everybody else's. So
Yep.
like, why not? What's holding me back?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's exactly it. And once I felt confident and realized that, then yeah, I just started doing that. And
Yeah.
especially with the guitar stuff, I saw another guitarist on TikTok putting up tabs and stuff, and I liked the style of how he did it. So I actually reached out to him and said, "Hey, I really like your style, and I like how you have the guitar tabs up there." And I said, "Where'd you get that from? How'd you do that?" And he told me it was like a plug-in for Final Cut Pro. I think literally guitar called Guitar Tab, and I think it's like $10. And yeah, you just throw it onto your videos. You have to manually type in the stuff, so it is a little tedious, but at the end of the day, I enjoy it just because, again, it's just to help. It's a 2-for-1. I like it because it's entertaining, because you can vibe out to the song, and then it's valuable because you can learn from it if you care so.
Yeah, for sure. It's so true what you guys are saying, that but yeah, but you haven't said it, and the
Mm-hmm.
way you say
Yeah.
it maybe connects with someone, because you're right, Bateson. It's like we don't all have the same For You page,
Yep.
and for example, maybe I vibe with someone that a lot of people don't vibe with, but
Mm-hmm.
someone else vibes with a certain same person, and that's I think the major thing with TikTok. No, it allows you to create your own community,
Yep.
of people that vibe with you, and then it doesn't matter if it's small or big. You can do a lot of things with that, because I mean, if people are listening to you, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Yeah.
main goal. Like,
Definitely.
Yeah.
like and then, for example, what I'm trying to do, is, like, the goal for me is to what you just did with that creator, to reach out and to say, hey, I like your stuff, and how did you do it, or like, can you share something, and share, and then we can all learn from each other, and then that's like on top of, we can create another a community on top of that,
Yep.
like a community of producers that like share stuff with each other and talk to each other, and especially with this genre that is, like we were talking about the other day, that is pretty much faceless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you count, for example, Mondo Loops, that has a great YouTube channel,
Yep.
Oh,
William Hatton, and Eldre,
Eldre. Yep.
and my favorite, Bad Snacks.
Yeah.
that's
I'm a
Yeah.
nice.
super,
No, she's great. Yeah.
I'm a super fan, man. Like, I have
Yeah.
to. I'm a fanboy with her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like other than that, there's not a lot of things going on as opposed to pop, for example, that everyone has everyone in the pop industry has a YouTube channel. Everyone in the pop industry has an
Yep.
Instagram. I found many producers, lo-fi producers from the lo-fi beats playlist, that like I just go there to to listen to some new stuff, and then I go to their profile on Spotify, and I find that they don't have like a Twitter or Instagram linked up, and I'm like, how did this guy just make music,
Yeah.
and they don't promote themselves, and they have like millions of streams. What the hell?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, because yeah, I made, well, because of your episode, that it's something that I've always thought about and talked about, but when your episode a couple weeks ago, when you were discussing that, it made me put out a couple pieces of content just explaining how I felt about it. And yeah, it's a, I believe, yes, it's a faceless genre, just because most producers hide behind the music. Um, Partly, I think, because they don't really have to do anything. Some producers are or just like anyone, just like anything, anomalies. They're fortunate. They've been in great positions to have connections or be with lo-fi labels that have connections with Spotify, Apple Music to get on playlists, and they don't have to, like the majority of us, showcase our talent, talk about things, put our face out there to, essentially become a brand so people can associate us with something. And I wish there was a lot more of that, because I think too many times lo-fi producers or people getting into it, I think just look at it from the standpoint of, well, maybe if I can get on a lo-fi beats playlist, then I can just make, $5,000 a month, and I don't really have to do anything else. That's just not me.
Hmm.
and and that's why while I create music, it's not my main focus. So therefore, I know, because I'm not putting my 100% of the pie to just the music or trying to make the sound that will fit that.
Yep.
Yes, I sacrifice the plays. I don't get anywhere near the plays of that, but that's okay, because
Yeah.
I've been growing my presence a lot more than they have, and I'm okay with that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's like a whole thing. Like you can divide, like you said, your efforts, and if you're putting your efforts on social media, I think is more valuable in the long run,
Definitely.
because like in one of your videos, you said it perfectly. You're gonna be pulled out of those playlists anyway.
Yeah.
At some point,
hmm
your song is not gonna be there anymore, and unless you keep producing something that is, I don't know if it has to be similar in the sound,
No.
but unless you produce something worthy of them accepting it in that playlist, then you don't have any streams,
Yeah.
because even if you, let's say, for example, if you go to 300,000 streams, monthly listeners on Spotify from the lo-fi beats, and then your song gets out of the playlist, those streams are going to go down
Yeah.
very fast,
Definitely. Yep.
and then you're done. It's like a whoop, it's like a peak, and then you go down again.
hmm
But with
Hmm.
social media, you can keep that peak for longer and stay up there for longer.
Yeah, I think that stuff works in the long run, because we mentioned him just now, but I really think Eldre is an anomaly in this community, because he started doing YouTube and creating tutorials and just showing his process for years and years and years, and then he got into remixing and flipping songs, either they were funk remixes or lo-fi remixes, and of course Steven Universe blew up on TikTok. And the thing with that, though, is he ended up getting so many people to actually just check his stuff out, so
Hmm.
much so that he naturally built constant traffic to Spotify, and
Hmm.
just his numbers just grew. It wasn't just because up until that point, even with Steven Universe being huge, um, that song didn't get on a editorial playlist. His first Spotify playlist was a viral playlist based off of TikTok. It wasn't
Yep.
even anything to do with lo-fi.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until he built, this foundation and built this thing, that so many people started coming to it, that at some point Spotify definitely recognized him enough to be like, okay, this guy's a force here. And that's
Hmm.
something I've always just liked, that he came at it just a different way, I think, at a time where it really just stuck out, where again, he was part producer and part artist, but part educator, and I think he just built up this community that followed him. And then when something blew up, then everyone just kind of was like, all right, let me go check this out, and
Hmm.
dug it, and it just kept snowballing to the point
Yeah.
where it's like now he's getting these opportunities. Like, I think he just released a video where I think he's gonna have a collaboration with Lo-Fi Girl,
Hmm.
and yeah, it just snowballed. So I think that's really kind of a lesson to just if he just hid behind those songs, he probably would have never got to that point.
Never, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
As fast and to that point,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think that Eldre is, like you said, an anomaly in this case
Hmm.
because, like, I think he's one of the few, if not the only one, that's done as consistent, that's been as consistent with YouTube
Yeah.
and Instagram
Hmm.
than any other. And I'm
Yes.
talking, I'm talking Mondo Loops, I'm talking Bassanax, I'm talking like everyone. Like he was,
Hmm.
I don't know if every week, but every week I saw like a new YouTube channel, a YouTube video, and they were good videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and
He
he,
has a personality and the education, and yeah, it's entertaining. Again, I think if you can entertain and educate,
yeah,
it's a win-win, and he's good at that because he makes fun of himself. He keeps little errors and edits, and he makes fun of himself throughout the video, and then he still shows you how he does stuff. I think
yeah,
it works.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, with Steven Universe, I think that the his audience from Instagram, when Steven Universe blew up, I think they helped him a lot as well to share
Oh,
that song,
definitely.
and
Yeah.
that became like a huge part of the virality
Hmm.
of that song, because everyone is using it still.
Yeah,
Like,
he happened to make a perfect song, a perfect beat that even even people outside of the community, if you see on social media, are using it because
yeah,
no matter the emotion, whatever content, if it's something sad, if it's something happy, if it's
yeah,
something sentimental, it's he it just works. It's just it fits over every type of emotion. And I know in the back of his mind he wasn't thinking that,
oh yeah,
but he happened to achieve that, which I think is great. That he made a piece of music that literally for any emotion you could put under and it works and it enhances it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today,
Hmm.
and ask you guys, like both of you, because like I want to know your thoughts. I'm always like thinking about, because I don't have a lot of people to talk about music, so I'm always like finding people to talk about music. So do you think that's a train? And when I mean train, like making remixes, do you think it's a train that is still um attainable? Because we get sounds that become viral every day on
Hmm.
TikTok.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be music. It can be like someone saying something that becomes super viral. I don't know, like for example, anything. Like
Oh
even
no, my table, it's
I,
broken.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
Yep.
know.
And I think that, but was, yeah, yesterday was Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I was my uncle was watching. He was on TikTok, and we all speak Spanish, so he was watching TikTok, Mexican TikTok, which is like
Yeah.
a
Hmm.
whole different. So
Whole
there's,
different thing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's this sound that is very famous, and someone made it into a reggaeton mix.
Hmm.
And I was like, that's, and I told him like that's what it is. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Like, like and my question to you is like, do you find that it is also like attainable? But the second question would be, do you find it enjoyable? Do you think that is something that you would enjoy doing?
I I will do it from time to time. I mean, funny enough, the song you like a lot, "Cold Fi," is an instrumental to a remix.
Huh.
One of an old song I like, the band called Crossfade. They had a song called "Cold," if you remember that.
Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people,
Oh
it's a butt
man.
rock song. People find it whatever, but I've always liked that song. Me and my friend always liked that song, and yeah, it was like a couple months ago. It dawned on me that I said, you know what, I want to make a lo-fi version of this, and yeah, it turned out people liked it, people enjoyed it, and to you, I like the instrumental a lot, so I just pulled the vocals and just threw the instrumental up. So that's why it's called So Cold Fi, because it's a play on the name. And then also I did one I did one for Creed, My Sacrifice. I
Okay.
did one for that too, and the instrumental for that is called My Sack Lo-Fice.
Oh my god.
It's cheesy, it's terrible, I know. But so
Oh, I can't wait to listen to this after.
I,
Awesome.
Peyton is just having a laugh. I don't know what
This
he's like.
is so funny. I'm looking at it right now on your Spotify. I'm
Yeah.
so looking forward to listening to this.
Yeah, I have little clips up on TikTok, I think, for the Creed one and the Crossfade one. So it's not a bad thing. Me personally, I'm not going to do it all the time. I truly do those remixes because it's just within me, and I'm like, you know what, I like this, and I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
It's a tough thing because there's have you guys heard of I think his name is Connor Price?
Connor Price? Is he a local?
He's not a lo-fi guy. I think he's an artist, pop, and he does some rap. And there's another artist called Nick D. They're kind of pop artists, but
Okay.
they've been blowing up on TikTok like crazy. And they just came out with a podcast, and they've been talking about different things when it comes to TikTok. And Connor, I guess when he first started, he focused on remixes. He do that stuff all the time.
Mhm.
And he himself was getting frustrated because he's like, hey, I have 300,000 followers, but I have only like 30,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. What is kind of this
Yeah.
disconnect going on? And what he realized as time went on was he wasn't showcasing and promoting his own music enough. So when
Gotcha.
he started doing that, now his music started going up. So now he has like 600,000 monthly listeners, and then a lot of his songs have millions of streams. So I think it's one of those things where you have to balance it out. I think it's a good tool. It showcases your talent, and it showcases it, and it gets people to check you out because people love familiar, as you know.
Yep.
The cover song is gold because people will always lean towards familiar. So that's a way for people to kind of peek through your door. But I think you have to balance it. You don't want it to be everything because therefore the moment you do something original, they're going to tune you out because it's not familiar. So you have to kind of balance it out.
Yeah, and in balancing it out, it also opens the doors for new audiences as well. No,
Definitely.
because then other people find you out. Like for example, if you start doing remixes for a while and then you promote your song and then someone looks at it but in a different For You page and and jams with your song and then finds out that you make remixes and then that person likes your remixes as well, then it's a joint
Yeah.
joint interest, I guess.
Mhm.
And then it's like creates more I can say like attachment to your content, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think really it's just a matter of just the balance because if you truly if you know you're doing the remixes because you enjoy them and again you know that it will get people's attention because they know the song.
Yeah.
If you believe in your own music, you got to showcase it just as much because the remixes and the familiar will drown that out in a heartbeat.
Hmm.
If you're only for every 3 remixes you're putting one video up, that one original video is not going to do anything because they're going to be enamored with the 3 remixes that you do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely gotta find a balance. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it,
No.
or you could still, I think, prosper from it. It might not be as crazy as it was a couple years ago, but I think it can be done.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, TikTok was really on to like remixes a year ago or like what a year and a half ago. Like
Yeah.
any remix that was there done, it was going to be viral or anything like that. But yeah, I like to do them because I was watching that sound from, can't remember her name. She was from iCarly.
Oh yeah.
That sound that went super viral that she curses.
Yeah, that she curses.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And then someone made a song of it, and then like people dance to the song, and I'm like, yeah, that would be cool to do. Like make something that people enjoy
Yeah.
after enjoying the sound because she
Mhm.
was just in an interview, wasn't any music behind it.
Yeah.
Then someone just dances to it. that would be cool to do.
Yeah, and to that, yeah. I mean, if you feel that way, then that's when I think
Yeah.
it's cool. Me personally, I'm not gonna just do remixes just because some people do it to jump on the trend. That's cool.
Yeah.
But if you feel like how I just heard you explain it, you seemed intrigued and by it. So it's like, hey, you know what? I'd actually like to do that.
Yeah.
If it's genuine, then
Yeah.
I'd say do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to do it just to do it, because if I felt that way, I would be doing that. But I
Oh
don't.
yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Right.
There's only a reason why I ended up doing 2 of them so far, because
Yeah.
it just came from the heart.
Yeah.
And the skits come more naturally to you, no? Like
Yeah,
yeah. That's
yeah,
like your comedy and stuff.
yeah. My comedy and stuff, yeah, that just comes from the brain. At that moment where just pops in my head one day to be like, it'll be funny to do this, and then it comes, because yeah, that again, that's just how I'm wired. I even if something picks up for a while, like the skits for the most part usually do. Again, I think they work well on TikTok, so a lot of them for me get decent amount of views, and I know that. But to me, it doesn't mean that it's like, what, I'm just gonna forget everything musical and just do funny, because
Mhm.
again, it's going to get to the point where when followers come, they're only going to be expecting funny, and then the moment I try to be serious with music, they're going to tune me out and leave. So that's,
Yeah.
again, I think balance is important if you're going to switch up your content.
Yeah. Yeah, super true. And with TikTok, it changes every week, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one of the things that I've seen, that like every week, even my For You page changes every week. I don't get the same thing.
Yeah. And I like that. Look, I love TikTok for that sense. It is what they say it is. It truly is a discovery app. Just the way that it's built, the
Mhm.
way that it's showcased for you, because these other platforms don't do that. The platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, showcase stuff based off of your following. So everything that you follow, first and foremost, that's what you're seeing. Yeah, they'll suggest some other things based off of what you like and who you follow. But when you go on Instagram, the first thing you see are the things or the people that you follow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
not how it is on TikTok. When you open up TikTok, the first thing you see is your For You page, which is primarily people you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Right.
great. So it always gives you a chance to be seen and to be heard for that reason. So that's why I like it for that. I think that's why it's an important tool.
How did you feel when you hit 1K and you were able to do lives and stuff? Because that's like a milestone on TikTok, no?
Yeah, you have to get 1,000. It it was. I was actually more interested in just getting a link up, because I think you have to get 1,000 to even put a website up, a clickable link on your bio. So I was more excited for that. I actually haven't gone live on TikTok, just because for me, I'm not. I would have to, I guess, take some time to figure out what I would want to do on there to make it worthwhile for people to check out. I don't know. I say that because I'm thinking no one wants to just sit there and see you make beats, but then again, people make millions of dollars watching people play video games. So maybe I should just do that.
Play Zelda, man.
Yeah, right. I should. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh
I
my
love
gosh, I was gonna
Zelda.
ask you about
Yes.
that. Link to the
Yes.
Past.
Oh yeah, Zelda 3. I love it. My favorite.
Yeah. Have you played all of the Legend of Zelda games, or?
I've played all of them except the Wind Waker, which is on GameCube.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think Twilight Princess I didn't play because I didn't have that was on the Wii. I didn't play that one, but even though everyone says that's a great one, I still have a Wii, so I should get it and play it.
It's a great one. It's my favorite, and I've never finished it because
really?
it's such a long game.
Speaking of never finishing, I did that with Skyward Sword.
Oh.
I started playing it and just never went back to it. And I bought the like the $100 collection, the special edition one with the gold controller and everything.
Right.
And didn't finish it, and I think they've re-released it for the Wii. And my friend always gets on my case, like, "Are you gonna finally play this game?" I'm like, "Yeah, maybe one day."
I'll get there.
But yeah,
Yeah.
huge Zelda fan since day one. I love it. Can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2 whenever that comes out.
Yeah, they need to hurry up.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting.
I think Twilight Princess was, if not my favorite, but Wind Waker was also like one of the good ones. I really like that one as well.
Yeah, I liked. I wish I could know why I didn't play it. Because I like the cartoon style of Wind Waker, but for some reason I didn't pick it up. I will say, I don't know, or were you either of you a fan of Majora's Mask?
Yeah, too. Yeah, we
Yeah.
played it. I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I just didn't like the system of that. I
What-
just couldn't get into it. After Ocarina of Time, I just couldn't get into that system of the sun and stuff like that. So I didn't really care
It's
for
a
it.
dark game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Twilight Princess is like super. It's really dark. Like it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like
Is it?
that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's that little. I can't remember. I think it's a witch, right? Is it a witch?
Oh, the thing that follows you around.
Yeah.
Because I'm being put on the spot, I don't remember.
I don't
but-
remember.
Yeah.
But when it talks to Link, is kind of like it's telling him like to deal with dark side, and then
Dark
like,
side, okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
something like that, something along the lines. So it's like a kind of a dark game in that sense.
Yeah, I should just bust out these systems and play these games.
I feel
because
that.
And
Yeah.
spend their life.
Yeah, I should, just because. Yeah, that'd be something different, I guess, for me. It'd just be like, hey, I'm playing Zelda games that I never played, when they came out. So I mean, it's
Mhm.
something a little different. I
There's
should do that.
this producer, I think, I can't remember. I think Stormy producer. I don't know if you come across with her.
No.
But she sometimes like streams playing. I can't remember what it was, but playing video games. That's all
Okay.
she does. Like on a Friday night, and I'm
Yeah.
like, can you do this on TikTok? You can just,
Oh yeah, people do it all the time. I sometimes get sucked into Elden Ring live
Yeah.
streams. Now, I don't play it because I watch that just because I see how many times these people die playing this game, and I'm like, this thing looks impossible. I don't know why people
Infuriating.
Yeah, I don't know why people play it, because I'm like, they die every minute, and I'm just like, hey, I'm not playing it. So I get sucked into that too. So yeah, it's something
Mhm.
I should think about doing, because yeah, if I'm watching it, then obviously people will watch it.
hmm hmm
Right.
I've seen the
Just
hype
another
on.
thing to do.
Yep, just another
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
added to the list.
Mhm.
That's I think that's what's beautiful about TikTok. It changed everything.
Yeah.
You can showcase anything and get followers or people to engage in your content, because it's now like we were saying earlier, it's about you.
Yep.
Like all of your sites can be shared, and because you have many common interests and many things
hmm
that other people can relate to, it can ignite following from that side, and then
Definitely. Yeah, it's a part of it's a part of you, so you shouldn't be afraid to showcase that. And I think it's a way that people can connect to you and even become more of a fan. I mean,
Mm,
I won't lie that I'm someone that when I like an artist, it's just automatic that I just start doing deep dives. I don't even need to.
Same.
You don't even need to tell me, oh, check this out, and this is a story about how I no, I already know, because I like you enough that I'm automatically doing it.
yeah.
So yeah, I think it just adds, and it I'll tell you what, it doesn't hurt. I mean, if someone is turned off by the fact that you're letting them know, a little more of you outside of what
Mm,
you're pushing, then I guess I don't need you as a follower or a fan.
yeah.
Sure.
And I bet that at the same time you win another one.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
In the same ratio that you lose one, you win another one, I think.
Yeah, and that's a constant battle for everyone. So that I think again, when you're constantly worrying about followers, hey, follower having a nice following is nice. Seeing the numbers are nice, of course. Who doesn't want that?
Hmm.
But when your mentality is only fixated on that, I think it just stunts you, creatively wise, and I think your product becomes subpar because you're just catering too much. Yeah, you should cater a little bit. Again, if you came out with something that did horribly and people didn't like it, then yes, you probably should. It doesn't mean you turn around and do it 60 more times,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you shouldn't be because one thing worked means this is all I'm doing.
Hmm.
So yeah, don't be afraid. Show yourself.
Show yourself.
That's what's about in lo-fi. Everyone, please show yourself.
Yeah,
More,
for
more,
real.
more. I think we're gonna see a. I think I don't know. I have a feeling that we're gonna see a rise in people in lo-fi doing more of content on social
Hmm.
media. I have a feeling because Mondo Loops is doing it and
Yep.
he's super big and like Eldre is like on the lead, and I think that because of TikTok we're gonna see a lot of that because on TikTok I see more lo-fi producers that even on as active on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know.
Hmm.
Yeah. No. It is. There has been an uptick in that, and I think. Yeah, I think TikTok helps, and I think Twitch has been helping too because Eldre streams. I like Chris Ponsalon. I think you're familiar with Chris
Yep.
Ponsalon. He does Twitch as well, and it just builds a community because other fellow producers get on there, and they get inspired by seeing the their peers or the people they look up to, and they get inspired to do it themselves. So I've seen other producers from Chris's stream branch off and they're streaming now, and the same thing with Eldre. So now you're starting to see more, and I think that's what it is everyone is starting to see everyone do it that they admire and they like and they respect, and so therefore it's championing them to do it as well to their community. So then it just constantly grows.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
Because 6 months ago I didn't really see that, and I think now, yeah, you definitely see it a lot more for sure.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how your like all of our perspectives change in with TikTok and social media? I feel like every week or every 2 weeks I shift and like grow in social media, like how I see it. Like I
Hmm.
see it differently, and I'm like, okay, now it's more open and more open and more open, and I think that's great. Like I can, because I was thinking when we're talking about Chris, um, I think he was one of the like I saw him after Eldre, I saw him after Bats and X, and I saw him after a couple of producers,
Yep.
and I realized that they all had a thing in common. They were posting content like super constant, super constant, until they hit like a certain audience where that audience kept them, where they are right now, and they pushed them a lot. So
Hmm.
like that fact that you can see that progress is true, like you say, it inspires you or inspires other people to do the same.
Yeah, I
It,
think.
it
Yeah, I think those three people you mentioned, and let's definitely give some love to
oh
Bad
yeah.
Snacks. We haven't really talked about her, but I think the success that she's had and Chris has had and Eldre has had is rooted from YouTube, but also what they were doing. A lot of their stuff again was educational and
Hmm.
entertaining, that it grew from there. So people started to really champion and love them because of the value that they were giving.
Yep.
Like for me, the first time, I'm a big Tom Mish fan,
Mm.
and by listening to Tom Mish so much, one of Bad Snacks videos came up where she made a song, like in the sound of Tom Mish, and that's
Hmm.
how I got into her, because it
Yeah.
popped on my YouTube from that. And then going forward, every video she has is just about giving you knowledge, showcasing the things that she does, and I think that's why she grew to this point. Eldre did the same, and Chris did the same. I mean, they're all different levels, as you know, because success is subjective,
Yeah.
but they all have achieved levels of success, I think, due to really just enlightening people with their education and entertainment, that you couldn't help but really admire them and like and love them for that, because they could have just been like, hey, I'm just going to put out music and only care about that. But I think they realized, hey, we want to showcase and help people learn. And therefore, then you care when, hey, I'm coming out with something. Then when, Bad Snacks comes out, when she came out with Neat Tape 2, everyone flooded and streamed it. I bought merch and everything. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so.
I've seen your merch. I've seen your Bad Snacks merch.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a real fan.
Yeah. No, I dig her a lot. My only thing with her is I wish she would put out more music. I feel like,
Oh, totally. Yes.
she puts out a couple things and then it's like, I think she's come out since Neat Tape 2. I think it's just like one, I think one a remix she came out with. Yeah, collab remix, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know she's busy and she's touring and she has a tour coming up and things like that. So I mean, not to say that she's not doing anything, but us fans, of course, we always want more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's and the same thing. I can't believe we're all three like Bad Snacks the fans. Like I didn't.
Oh yeah.
That's super great.
She's so cool.
Yeah, she's awesome. I mean,
yeah.
There's nothing else to say. She's just awesome.
Yeah.
I was super excited when she announced Red Rocks.
Oh yeah,
Colorado.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was like, oh yes, she's touring again. I was like rooting for her.
Oh yeah.
I was excited. Yeah, I wanna meet her.
Yeah, hey, maybe maybe one day she could be on the podcast. You never know.
Cross your fingers, man.
Yeah, cross your fingers, and hey, it can be achievable. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I wanted to ask you something for the longest time.
Yeah,
that logo that you're wearing right now. How did you come up with it?
The logo is actually it's a real picture from a picture my wife took of me in our backyard. I was just sitting there and she told me to look at the camera, and I looked, and I had a yellow hoodie on and sunglasses, and I liked the photo a lot, and found an illustrator. He did stuff with Eldre Taka. I don't know if you heard of him. His name's Taka, but yeah, he did. I think if you go back, the artwork I think for Eldre Volume 2, his drum kit, the sample pack. I think he did the artwork for that. He's done other stuff, but I liked his style. It's kind of Japanese like animation stuff, and I reached out to him and said, hey, can you kind of cartoon this logo for me? And he I paid happily for his services, and this is the result. And so yeah, it just came my logo, and then I just slapped it on some shirts and some hats and things, and I sell a little merch from time to time.
Nice. I like it because it's super like identifiable.
Yeah.
It stands out really
Thank
great.
you. Yeah, that was kind of the point. And it was an accident. I wasn't even really thinking about logos, but I just like the picture so much, and when it was illustrated that way, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect for a logo. And then to what you just said, to make it identifiable, so when you see it, it's me. If even if I'm not wearing it, if you'll see it because through my page and any posts that I make, but you'll just know that's me. You can't mix that up for anyone else but me. So so yeah, it's been working.
Yeah, it's a unique piece of work.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. I wanted to ask you as well, like, what are your next projects?
Honestly, I don't. Lately, I would say for this year, projects have been kind of as they go. I took a step back as far as coming out with a whole bunch of music, just because I have, I think, like 80 to 90 songs on Spotify. so I kind of felt like, I've done a lot, and I have a large catalog that's still discoverable, and people can still discover. And like I said, I feel like out of that 90, there's something you're gonna like, and there's gonna be stuff that you don't.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, I've really just been focusing on just having fun with music. So, I started, rapping on all over my beats and stuff, and people, especially on Instagram, have been loving that. So I came out with like a short album, where I just did like 1 minute songs. I actually would put like 2 beats or 3 beats into one song, and just rapped over them. And then I came out last or 2 months ago with probably my most personal song, called "Each Day is a Blessing," which just has to deal with really, really understand, as dark as I can be, as far as like the lowest points of my life, and realizing that living each day is a blessing, even if you're thinking about doing the extreme sometimes, and thinking, do I even want to be here? To take a step back and realize that no, you're here for a reason, and cherish each day, and then I this past month came out with a song, called "Wasted," so flagrant, which is a fun song about my friend who got drunk and high before his bachelor party started, and passed out 9 o'clock. I mean, we all got together around 5 o'clock, had dinner, and he decided to get a little too crazy before the night even begun, and was in his hotel bed asleep at 9 o'clock. So I just wrote a little kind of R&B song, just poking fun at him about that. So that's kind of what I just been doing, releasing a song each month, and kind of just whatever comes to mind, um, and just speak, and just in singing or rapping, just from my perspective in my life.
Mm.
That's just what I've been doing. So, right now, that's it musically. I've been trying to, get into selling some beats. I've sold a couple beats. I taught guitar. I had my first guitar lesson like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm just trying to, my my mentality with like Jamison at when I first started was artist focused, and now it's kind of just it's a brand focused, business focused, where I'm just focusing on being an artist and being a teacher, and a producer, and just a resource. Like at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I want Hike Jamison to be kind of like a resource where people can go to, whether they want to buy beats, they want to listen to music, they want to learn. That's kind of my plan in these next couple of years.
Nice.
Me personally, I'm doing this especially, in this community, because I want to be known, and for that, I want people to say, oh yeah, this is the guy that blah 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 blah, instead of, again, just a faceless person. That's why I'm trying to really persevere, and buck that trend of people not knowing who the hell we are.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah, like really like be part of the community, like be
Yeah.
a pillar,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
because I've learned, and we've talked about, the Bad Snacks, the Eldres, the Chris's, and so on and so forth. But that's what's inspiring, and that's why I realize I like them so much.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't always have to listen to them, because again, they provide all that stuff. If you want to listen to them, you can. If you want to learn from them, you can. If you want to
Mhm.
be entertained by them, from them, you can.
Mhm.
And you can't say that really about too many, producers out there.
Yeah.
So, in this community, of course, in other producers and other genres, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm inspired by that and influenced by them for doing that. So that kind of pushes me to be like, hey, I like that. I want to be at some point, you know, an El Dre to someone, a Bad Snacks to someone, a Chris
Mhm.
Poncelon to someone.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think that they I mean, it's a good way to interact with the community, because I think that that's the whole point, no, in interacting with the people who take the time to interact with your content.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. And
What do
I
you
think
think?
it's the little things. I preach small victories are still wins. So
Yeah.
it's just the little things, Again, when I reference that someone said, "Hey, could you take this drum loop and put it over this other thing?" And I did it. I could have just ignored it or took offense to it that, "Oh, he's saying he doesn't like this loop and I made it this way and that's how it should be." And I was just like, "You know what? You took the time to request that or ask if I could." So I'll take 10 minutes and switch it and send it to you. And he was like, "Hey, thanks." And I felt good about that, because hey, you never know. I might have made that guy's day because he probably didn't expect me to respond or
Mm-hmm.
care.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's those little things, I worry about that more than the huge things because
Hmm.
a huge thing is usually just one thing. And then when it's gone, you don't have anything else that's little that's still keeping you up. So that's why I cherish the small stuff because if that's constantly going, I think eventually that big thing is going to pay off. And then when that comes down, you still have this big foundation of small victories keeping you up until the next huge wave comes.
Wow, that's a great way to see it.
Yeah.
I, actually, I was picturing when you were talking about it, I was like, that's very true. Like,
Yeah.
Hmm.
you get this spike,
Mm-hmm.
and when I mean, inevitably come down, because like everything that comes up must come down.
Come
Like,
down. Yeah.
yeah, you'll have this bed.
Yeah. You have a soft
Hmm.
landing.
Uh huh.
So you're not, yeah, at rock bottom. You have a soft landing because yeah, you just kind of elevated and nurtured so many people that are kind of in your corner. So yeah, I definitely cherish that the most. So I preach that a lot is the small victories. I put a piece of content out today about that, just saying
That's
like,
right.
hey, I'm not the most streamed artist out there, but I'm appreciative of everyone who listens. Even if you stumble upon it, cool. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna sit there and dwell that, oh, I didn't get, 5,000 plays today. Hey, I
Yeah.
got 100. That's cool. You know,
Hmm.
I'm appreciative of that. 100 is still a lot. The fact that you could get 100 in a day, that's still a lot to me.
Yeah.
So small victories.
Yeah, and I mean, 100 that stopped and clicked on your music.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
took time.
Yeah. It took time to listen to it, stumble across it. However it may be. Yeah. I'm appreciative of that, and I always I just want to get that across to people and just let them know that because I know we focus on numbers. It's hard not to. I get it. And it's hard not to compare yourself to people because if you feel you feel within yourself, you believe in yourself and confident in yourself, and you see someone else similar to you, kind of in that same lane, but they're miles ahead of you, it's kind of human nature to be like, well, why am I not there?
Mm.
Why does this person get, you know, 500,000 views from a guitar video and I'm only getting 2,000? And I've been there and I've thought that. So I don't want to act like I've never done that. Of course, it happens. Even recently it happens. But
Yeah.
I still take a step back and realize like, look, nurture and cater to what you have. They have what they have. Work with what you have and continue and keep going, keep growing. And at some point you'll be there.
It's a
Because if
great
it,
philosophy.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I try to be, for me, I just like to be transparent because we, social media and everything, we put out what we control what we put out. So of
Mm-hmm.
course we can put out positive all day
Mm-hmm.
and make the person think, wow, this person has everything and they're doing everything right. I'm trying to just be a little more honest, especially for me and this year and myself. That look, that's not the case. I do get jealous. I do get envious of people who I feel like are kind of similar to me, but they're prospering way more than me. I do get frustrated sometimes, or yeah, I put heart and souls in the songs and it gets 10 plays, you know. Or I do get mad that I didn't hit this milestone yet that I thought I would. But on the flip side, I'm still appreciative of the fact that I can even worry about that stuff because you could not have any of this right now, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
You could have nothing going on, no ambition, and not,
exactly.
like there's
Or
people.
yeah, or the negative could drive you to the point where you do quit,
Yeah.
True.
you know, where you're so discouraged because you feel like you're not growing fast enough that you say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. That happens a lot too. But,
Yeah.
So that's been my mentality. It's just to be transparent and honest with everyone, and that's why lately I've been just putting those pieces out of motivational things because it's just the truth, and just to kind of let people know that look, it's not perfect. It's not, everything you see doesn't mean that everything's going great. I struggle just like you struggle, and that's and I feel like that's a relatability that everyone can understand, even outside of liking your music. Everyone can relate that, hey, life is tough sometimes and things stink, and everyone wishes they're in a better situation than they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the ability of, because like I said, I mean, we all feel jealousy. We all feel like in comparing ourselves to others. But I think that the time you spend dwelling on that stuff is the difference between who does more or doesn't give up,
Mm-hmm.
and the people who do give up. Like
Yep.
if you start dwelling on it, your head is just gonna turn against you.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Exactly.
like the more you dwell, the more negative talk, and the more
Mm-hmm.
negative talk, the more you dwell.
Yep.
So it's a vicious cycle that it ends with either you give up or you give up, because if it's negative all the time, you're gonna or then you're gonna chase something that is not you
Mm-hmm.
or yourself. You're like you're gonna try to do something that someone else is doing just because you think it's gonna be commercially successful.
Yep.
And I mean, if it's not you, it's not the most recommended thing to do.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I'm wired. So I
Yeah, for
agree with you.
sure. Nice.
Yeah.
I like that, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sure, man. Hey, I'm just being me, that's to what you just said, and just being myself, and and just hope, hey, everyone do the same as well. Be yourself and you'll figure out your way, you know.
Cool, man. No, really, thank you, because I saw your videos. I found you on TikTok, and I was like, okay, this guy's cool. And we thought, like, I was telling people, like, okay, we're gonna have Hike in the podcast,
Yeah.
And then thank you very much for being here, for
Yeah,
taking the
thanks for
time.
having me.
Yeah.
Seriously, dude.
I
Uh,
appreciate it.
and we hope to have you again. And you know that we have a version of this podcast which is like the Music and Talk Spotify
Yeah,
version
on
of it.
Spot. Yep, I listen to
Yeah.
you guys strictly on Spotify for that reason. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
Thank you
yeah,
very
yeah.
much.
To mix with the music. No, I like it. I like
Nice.
yeah, I do. I love the setup. I love how you guys are doing it. So yeah, I've been listening since I found out you had one. So
Thank you.
continue success with it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, no problem.
And if you have any, I mean, of course, we're gonna play your songs, but
Hmm.
like if you have any songs that you want us to showcase from you, and also if you want to talk about any other artists that you want, like in or show another song, you can. But like if you want to send us like an audio message
Yeah.
introducing the song, so that way, like I can prompt it, and then you come in as a,
Okay.
what,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
No, I could do that.
it's just a different version. It's not like the whole podcast, like on this, like that. I'm gonna post this whole conversation on YouTube, and then I'll chop it up, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, no, I
Cool.
can definitely send you something. I mean, I would say probably just because we talked about it, definitely feature Bad Snacks, El Dre, Chris Ponsalon,
But make it about
and
you. Make it about you as well. I mean,
yeah,
like,
well, definitely, yeah. I'll
yeah,
give you a song or two,
yeah, for
but
sure. No,
you know, but
it's your
yeah,
time.
no, yeah, it's my time to shine,
It's
right?
your time to shine, man.
Yep.
All right, man. Thank you very much, Hike,
Oh yes,
seriously, for taking the time.
yes, thank you for having me. And
Hope to,
yeah. Yeah, definitely talk to you guys soon, and keep up the good work, and I will be following you guys as well.
Thank you
All right,
so
man.
much.
Yep, no
Thank
problem.
you very much.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.